It is Monday, the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse, and I don't like Monday. Nobody likes Monday, and not because it's the beginning of the week and all of that, but I'm already annoyed, and I'm annoyed before I even start talking to you. And that is, look, a lot of you shoot from the hip. You're morons, you're weasels, you're assholes, pretty much all of the above. And I'm talking about everybody. There's nobody that's immune from my anger here. And I don't say anger, that's air quotes anger, where so much is going on in this world. Rich is getting philosophical. Why don't we listen? You guys shoot from the hip so much, and you make these blanket assumptions about everything. That's what I hate about the internet, is that it has become so predictable as night is into day. It is so goddamn predictable. People have all these feelings pent up and they make these wild assumptions about everything. And none of it is sincere. All of it is just reactionary, trying to get the most out of your Weasley little thoughts. And I'm talking collectively, all of you. And by the way, including myself. That's how seduced we've become on all of this. God knows what the hell we'd be like if we're down in LA and all dealing with all that crazy crap. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things on my mind, okay? A lot of things on my mind. I made a mistake verbally about talking about the Ron Owens deal. Several of you sent me some very thoughtful questions, emails. You took the time to put out a fairly legitimate, and I'm going to get into the media, how they've covered the firestorm in LA, how I still think, and I say it unabashedly, and I say it with absolute moral conviction, how crappy, God forbid, the Bay Area media would be, God forbid, if we have to deal with something like what is taking place in Southern California. I got a lot of shit on my mind. I'm angry, and it's Monday. But it has to do with the Ron thing. Very legit. I should have said more to the point about Ron Owens and Jan Black, his wife, but what they're dealing with, and the very, very legitimate situation regarding Laura Owens, their daughter, and what she is involved in. I should have been more, shall we say, diplomatic and say, I shouldn't have said, I'm done with this, because the timing wasn't great. It made it look as if after speaking to Ron and Jan Black for 2 times for almost 2 hours, I should have been more open to the possibility of at least trying to examine what's taking place, what has taken place, and what is in the future. Because I'm dealing with you guys, I'm dealing with them, I'm not really dealing with. What I mean by that is I am trying to be fair minded, put aside all my biases, and ask legitimate questions. And I asked Ron himself and Jan. This smells to high heaven, guys. And I believe you guys. As I keep saying, why wouldn't I believe Ron? And Ron has some splaining to do. But I do believe the fact, folks, after careful consideration, with a few hesitations, that Ron Owens reached a point in his life with very, very obvious challenges, mainly his health, what he's dealing with, and some past issues, nothing having to do with his daughter, have come home to roost or roast. I hate that phrase. I use it a lot. It's a pain in the ass, but it makes sense here. And he's facing this. So, and believe me, Countless times within the past week, I've said, this isn't Ron Owens. This isn't Ron. But when you reach a point in your life that, yes, there are certain obstacles, there are things. And yes, he's got a great pension, or he had a great pension and medical coverage and all that. But by the same token, I myself are the person who brought up gambling. He swore to me, and his wife did too, that he hasn't gambled in 20 years and that he basically succumbed to past deeds. And the fact that he had to move from the Bay Area, his very beloved San Francisco, to Scottsdale, not because of the money, but because of the fact that Scottsdale, Arizona is more suitable to his convalescing, dealing with Parkinson's, which he's also dealing with. Do I think Ron made some mistakes? Yeah, I do. I make mistakes. Duh, you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I think Ron had that happen, and contrary to a lot of speculation in the industry, his friends, his past associates, he's having to deal now with issues that are far above the proverbial his pay grade. And I do believe that. On the other hand, I have read about his daughter, Laura, and about what she has been accused of, what she's accused others of. And yes, it's very troubling. I shake my head and I think, how can all these guys be on the take collectively? I don't mean literally, with regards to Laura Owen. How could she be just question mark, question mark? There's too many unanswered questions. One of the reasons why I asked Ron to come on the show here, but I also understand he made a very legitimate point, as did Jenna. You may not agree with this. I am kind of open to anything. It's very, very awkward. It's conflicting. But he believes a lot of things. The situation taking place in LA wouldn't be the right time now to go over the fact of his past travails and his current travails regarding his daughter. I believe him. I think to some degree, it's a legitimate point. Jan Black said the same thing. And when I said I don't have the resources, frankly, folks, contrary to what you think, I too have bills. And I am trying to make this site work and to take care of my responsibilities that have nothing to do with media. So, yes, I have somewhat of a life, not a big life, not as important as your life. Being a little sarcastic, but, consider the source. But that's the deal. I don't have a staff. I don't have 5 people that can go out and do fact-finding issues and all that. I have myself, a cell phone. I have various means of trying to get to the bottom of anything, let alone this thing. And I understand that there's a lot of uncertainty out there. I understand there's lots of questions. Is the money going to what it's reported to be or purported to want to be going? And that has to do with his medical expenses. I do believe yes. Okay. Yes. Is it a lot of money? Of course, it's a lot of money. I agree. I talked to a lot of people, by the way, lots of people who generally think that Ron has said his piece, that he is being germane, and that there's no awkwardness. There's no, what shall we say? There is no funneling. There is no misdeeds with regards to the money. It is going eventually to cover his medical costs. And I guess he felt, I believe him, that he reached a time in his life that he needed help. He did. So if that's proven to be wrong, if there's some horrific, if there's some bad thing there, if it turns out that there's something sketchy about that coming in the future that can be proven without, various people have a little bit of an axe to grind too. Don't believe. I mean, I railed on Ron, folks. You know me, those of you who have read me in the past, for the better part of 10 years. I was on Ron. I belittled him. I lampooned him. I blasted him. Okay? So don't accuse me of being bought. That's an absurdity. Don't accuse me of being light on Ron Owens. Believe me. And who are the people that know that first and foremost? Ron and Jan. How do I know? Because I got a whole ton of it recently. But we've talked. And I've made my point clear about Ron on this Monday. But I get annoyed at people who make these just bullshit charges and throw shit. I'm itchy, by the way. For God, I just, I touch myself a lot. Like, story of my life. I'm hearing it on both sides. And, frankly, I'm not in the mood. I really am not. I'm struggling and just to survive. Some of you have seen the light, and have contributed to me. And I don't want to make this about Rich needs help. I don't have the wherewithal to do a GoFundMe. Considering the times that we're in right now, it would be kind of gross itself. I got a roof over my head. That's about it. But I'm in no mood to read about, you're just sucking up to Ron. The hell I am. If I'm sucking up to Ron, go Google my name and Ron Owens. You want to do some research? Look what I said about Ron over the years. But you know what? I became philosophical one morning, and I said, I want to get it on the record that the man, not personal, but professionally, did some good, and personally too. Has he made mistakes? Yes, we all make mistakes. I'm not here to defend Ron. He can defend himself. His wife, too, Jan Black. I talked to them basically for a lengthy amount of time, hours. I want to get that out of the way. Switching subjects to and I'm going to talk about the Laura thing in a little bit, but I want to switch subjects because this is important too. I made the accusation, my opinion, of course, about the fact that, God forbid, we have a national tragedy, a catastrophe, a wholesale, fundamental, life-altering kind of event, incident, like a terrorist attack, God forbid, a natural disaster, like an earthquake, flood, whatever. Something monumentally life-changing. And we have to rely upon our local media. And I've been consistent about this too, even before LA. But LA and its firestorm brings this home. And I am not one iota apologetic about this. We are in sad fucking shape if we have to rely on our local media. We have, virtually speaking, we have no local media. We have shit for radio. I'll say that till I'm blue in the face. This is not a disgruntled person here. I never worked for KCBS, never wanted to work for KCBS. I didn't work for KCBS, was dismissed, coming out, I'm going to get even. Not getting even, I'm stating what is absolutely, sadly, the case. What do we have? We have a newspaper that is chock full of bullshit and one of the worst, if not the worst, major newspaper in the entire land, the Chronicle, which has been a joke for years. And now that we've entered and have been in the internet age for, 4 decades now, 5 decades, we have ample proof of that. The Chronicle is ridiculous. It is pathetic. It is beyond any kind of scope of a real newspaper. And by the way, this was when real newspapers were real, when there was no internet. The Chronicle was a joke. You know all the jokes about the Chronicles, the line from All the President's Men, Ben Bradley, played by Jason Robards, when he says to this hustler, sell it to the Chronicle, the San Francisco Chronicle. They've always been misfits, but at least they had somewhat of a semblance of professionalism and trust and capability and reliability. They had columnists that were real, that kept it real. They had real reporters. And don't give me this crap as age. Oh, we don't have the money. They don't have the money. Well, then other publications, they don't have the money either. They find a way to take care of the community, to satisfy the community. They don't have much money either. They do better, folks, you know this, with the resources that they do have. The Chronicle is a joke. I say that with my own biases out of the way. You know, I understand why the Chronicle gets belittled and joked with and all that, because they are a joke. That's what we're supposed to rely upon now, is the fucking San Francisco Chronicle with their pimple-faced fucking reporters who sit at their computers and look for wacky stories. I'm not talking about SF Gate, their joke of an internet conduit. That's a joke in and of itself. They sit around and they talk about restaurants and the wackiest blue building, the color blue building on Folsom Street, or the California town. I'm discussing now SF Gate. Joke. The so-called, shall we say, the internet age reporters of the internet age that is supposed to cover news, minus the sfchronicle.com, the serious side. They're both jokes. If you want to know about the best burrito in San Francisco, if you want to know about the great hamburger, if you want to know if you're a guy, where's the best chance to get laid on a Monday night, well, then go to SF Gate and their joke. They're pimple-faced fucking reporters. I know, I sound old saying that. I feel it myself, but it's the truth. They have no media acumen. Joke. In the fifth media market in the country, and we have this shit. Now I'm getting angry. We have no radio. No repeat radio. The basic radio situation we have right now is beyond embarrassing. Again, repeat, rinse and repeat. If we face a firestorm or an earthquake, most likely, and we have to rely, we're going to be absolutely one, those of us still around, God willing, to rely upon a KCBS, which is, by the way, a joke, the emergency station in the market. I worry about it. I do. Do you remember about a month and a half ago, folks, when we had that tsunami warning? It was a warning. We had the earthquake up in extreme Northern California. Very few people. Nobody died, I don't think. Yet KCBS had the fucking chutzpah, the audacity, pun intended, to put two clowns on the air who were out and out hilarious, unintentionally. Hysterical would be the operative word. And who were, there's a tsunami, who sent reporters to goddamn Benicia and Walnut Creek and Alameda to talk about a tsunami that never took place was an extreme case of how the fucking ridiculous aspect of how KCBS is such a joke. Yeah, down in LA, KNX, which I've complimented so many times, their reporters were working 24/7 for the past week. And yes, a combination of them needing reinforcements, like reporters who weren't tired. So they picked up these two from San Francisco, Matt Bigler and Holly Kwan, to help over the weekend, which they did. But Odyssey is frugal and cheap. They don't have a staff of their own. That's another story. But when it comes to a future where we need and depend upon for our very lives, our existence, when we have to believe or depend upon KCBS, we are fucking shit out of luck. Unless you want to hear pipsqueaks and people that sound like chipmunks. And God forbid, real reporters who know what the hell they're talking about, we are in trouble. Listen to the joke every day. We don't have anchors. And I'll get to TV in a second. On KCBS, we have pretend people. Oh, there's a few couple of reliable folks who are credible reporters. Bigler himself, he's nothing fantastic. He's nothing spectacular, but at least he's credible. Holly Kwan, okay, not a very good anchor. She can at least report. I'll give her that. She's credible. In the afternoon, overrated anchors. They're pathetic. I was going to say Holly. No, redact that. Patty Rising, overrated. Brett Burkhart, a complete, absolute fraud of a person when it comes to anchoring. But they needed a body, so they hired. Retread has been Brett Burkhart from KGO. Wow, ain't that special? Yeah. The current crop of reporters at KCBS is a joke. It's a joke. That tsunami warning, those hysterical anchors that worked that on the air like Shane Guinness, who sounds ridiculous. And we're going to rely upon Shane Guinness. KCBS is a joke. I'll say it again and again till I'm blue in the face. Our television, look what is transpiring at KTVU. Like it or not. Well, I don't like it. And not many other people do, but we're force-fed this shit from KTVU, which long ago lost it, completely lost it. God forbid we have to rely upon KTVU. And NBC Bay Area, somewhat average to okay, above average, which in this market is spectacular. KRON is back to being the old, pathetic KRON. KPIX, which I've applauded in the past, they're okay. They're a little bit better than average too. But so far, they need help like the rest of them do. Channel 7, a bunch of zombies, Disney assholes working for other Disney assholes, and complete frauds currently at Channel 7, which used to be one of the most prestigious KGO TV, Circle 7 stations, not just in the Bay Area, but in the entire United States. Look at all the great people they used to have. We're going to rely upon these folks to get us the information and the access if we, God forbid, have what is taking place now in Southern California. Then, look, I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm just telling you it's not the truth. It's my version of the truth. And I'm scared as hell. And I'm not making a wild, lob here. I've been saying this for a long time now. And don't give me the bullshit about, well, everybody's got limited resources. Find better resources. Deal with what you have. Don't kvetch about no money. The other markets, some of them are not even the one iota the size of the Bay Area. They get it done. Houston, Chicago, Miami, Austin, Texas, Sacramento. Good people. How does Sacramento get such quality people and report and have decent in this environment today like the Sacramento Bee? You guys are just going to bitch at me. Oh, all you do is complain. Tell me why I should do the opposite. Give me hope and inspiration. Our media is crappy. Years and years and years ago, when I was growing up, I looked around. I saw, God, we have such great people. That had nothing to do with resources. We've had good people before who've dealt with massive, massive more issues than we have today. Why do other cities, bigger markets, lesser markets, smaller markets are much more reliable than San Francisco? Finally, some personal situations here. People made a comment, a couple of people, about my outfit the other day, and I was joking about it. Folks, I am not in a position to be, this is my outfit, basically. If you're coming here to look for fashion, go put on an old Carol Burnett show. You can see a lot of Bob Mackie costumes, okay? I don't celebrate the fact that I have limited resources. And again, I'm going to make this very clear. This isn't about me per se. It's about the situation that I'm in. I'm trying, and I ain't doing anything special. I'm here. I comment about the media. I try to break a few stories every now and then. I give you my take on certain things, like how our present state of media is so ridiculous. One of the reasons why the people are so fed up and are so cynical about the state of our media is what is taking place in San Francisco and the Bay Area, and how all of this doesn't help matters when we have such fucked up, quote me, outlets like KCBS, like The Chronicle, like SF Gate, like Hearst, like Channel 7, KGO, and other stations, one of which used to be a pretty legacy outlet like KTVU, which is completely in the shitter right now with these dumbass shows that have no absolute iota of creativity or credibility. So back to me. I am not pretty. This is what I am, okay? And I rail and I rail. I would like to be optimistic. I would like to every now and then highlight somebody or some outlet. Give me something that I could highlight, that I could say, you know what, they're good. I've done that in the past. Not everybody is the shits. Mostly they are. But the fact is, they haven't had any training. They haven't had any real training to which they can go behind the camera, the microphone, the computer, to do what they've been trained to do, which they have not been. But back to me. I have seen the day and the night and all that. I do give you the rough edges, which is among the many, many reasons why you come here. I am not flawless. I am imperfect to most of the time. When I am who I am. I'm not claiming to be anybody other than who I am. And why is this place picking up steam? because you want an alternative with the bullshit that you have to deal with every day. I am not here parting the Red Sea, as I've often stated. I am not somebody saying, I'm better than that person. I am here to fulfill a mission, and that is to be transparent and to expose some of these bastards and frauds because they need to be exposed. Whether it's news talk, we don't have any. Whether it's the news itself on radio, don't have any. Whether it's people who think their shit doesn't stink and think they're holier than thou, and some anchors on television locally who think their shit doesn't stink. By the way, talk about wanting to really expose these sons of bitches. I'm here for that until they say otherwise, until more importantly, you say otherwise. God knows their pedestal, their idea of importance. They think they're very important. They think that because the camera is mounted on them, they think because of the fact that they got goddamn lucky in one sense, that they're able to still broadcast and not act like the sons of bitches and frauds that they are. Nobody calls them out. And I'm not patting myself on the back because I'm the only one who calls them out. I call them out because they need to be called out. They need to be called out. I myself, folks, am a consumer of news. And I watch these idiots and these schmucks and these holier than thou assholes. Believe me, they need to be called out. They need to be held accountable. Most of them don't know that. Some of them, a lot of them, have not been trained. They don't understand the geography. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. And that is absolutely ridiculous, pathetic, an abomination, you bet. So I've talked about all this all the time. I hate to be downcast. I hate to be cynical. I hate to be this. What else am I supposed to be? And that's on all fronts, myself included. So don't lambaste me. Don't lampoon me about the fact that my wardrobe is the shit. You don't like it? Then don't fucking watch me. Simple as that. Again, you want some fashion? You want guys who talk about bullshit things? There's plenty of alternatives out there. Give a watch, give a listen. Don't come to me. I need survival tips. I'm surviving. Trying to keep this going, not to protect you, not to keep you responsible and all that. I'm not going to be holier than thou. I do what I do. I enjoy doing it to some degree, but I'm also not exactly thrilled with the fact that I got to call these sons of bitches out, but I do it. That's my situation. So, yes, you are my advertisers. You make me go or you don't make me go. So when I ask for donations, you are used so that I can continue to operate and that I will ultimately one day, God willing, have the resources to do full investigative, comprehensive work and look into situations like Laura Owens and be able to give you a proper take and so forth. Make a donation. I will personally thank you. And to all of you who have contributed both in the past, who stopped, even though you stopped for whatever reason, that's up to you, fine. Those of you that have helped me, I appreciate it. I thank you. It is Monday, and we'll see you soon, God willing, if all goes well.